I'm back. It's been a hot minute, and I know that. Things have been a little bit crazy. So, if you've been following my journey, I have moved to Colorado. I am working with the university out of Tempe, Arizona. Sorry, I've been speaking for too long today. And so a lot of my passion projects kind of got put to the back burner, but I'm done with that. I have a new backdrop and we're ready to go. So I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things, which is speaking with intention, right? I think if any of you have seen me speak at a conference or you've seen any of my videos, everything I do is with thought behind it. Hence the reason for my company, The Intentional Classroom. So who am I? My name is Teresa Muley. I don't know why I cut off the word hello there, but my name is Teresa Muley. I am the founder and CEO of both the Intentional Classroom and Cosmetology Exam Review. I started my company because after working in cosmetology schools for 15 years, working with Pivot Point, working with Beautycast Network, working with Matrix, I recognize that there is a real shortage in opportunities for teachers to grow within our community. Then that kind of catapulted into Cosmetology Exam Review, which is an online review program for students to pass the theory portion of their state exam. So all of that is available. I'm not here to sell you that, although go buy it. But the reality is I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, I'm a stylist by trade. My actual role at work is the executive director of regulatory affairs because I'm also heavily involved in compliance, which I know, very exciting stuff as a hairstylist to be working in compliance. If you haven't followed me in the places, do it. I do have a YouTube channel. It's under the Intentional Classroom. Tons of student driven videos there, but I also have a lot of leadership and teacher videos on there as well. So go check it out. Go give it a follow. And then I'm everywhere else too, both by my name as a speaker and through my company name. So do all the things, support the people in the industry. Here I am supporting. Okay. What are we doing here right now? We're talking about speaking with intentionality. Okay. So some of our learning objectives for this super quick little course that we're doing is first to evaluate our word choice, our tone, our delivery of messages. Hugely important, right? What we say is important, but how we say it and when we say it is also really important. So I want you to really kind of open up your mind to reflecting on how you speak to people and if maybe you can tweak it a little bit. Okay. The next is we will talk about the power of the pause. Now, I have an entire video on that as well that I recorded. It hasn't been released yet. And it goes deeper into the pause and our energies that we put into conversation. And so we're going to touch on it today in this one, but it's not really a deep dive into that idea, power of the pause, which I have done full workshops on just pausing. The next one is to begin to understand what mindfulness in our speech looks like. So I'm a theater kid. I was always taught slow down, enunciate. But what that also has taught me is to pause, think, speak, think about what I'm speaking, those types of things. Okay. So we're going to explore 8 ideas in speaking with intention. And then we're going to celebrate you because you're amazing and you're here and you're growing. And I'm excited by that. So let's get started. So the secret of being boring is to say everything. Sometimes if you feel like you have to talk over people and say all the things and you always have to have an answer, you lose the credibility and you become kind of white noise in the background, like Charlie Brown's teacher, right? That's what we don't want to do. And when we start to just rattle things off without mindfulness behind those words, that's what students start to hear. Not even just students, but your team, your coworkers, your colleagues, all the people. They get tired of hearing you if you don't speak with purpose. So the major idea of today is our word choice, our tone, our body language, and our approach mean way more than just the message we're trying to send. Our message is important, but without considering those other things, the message gets lost in the mess. Okay. So really think about not the words or not the message that you're giving, but how you're delivering that message. Okay. Everything matters. Every message matters. Every idea matters. And every word you choose matters. And how that student, that coworker, that boss, whatever it might be, how they perceive you, all of it matters. So we're going to go through 8 things, right? 8 things for you to consider so that you speak with more intentionality. Okay. Number 1. I love that things have disappeared from my PowerPoint. I actually stopped this recording once because I was like, well, where's the 1? Where's the 2? Somehow they've just disappeared in Canva. Oh no. All right. Number 1, that pause that I mentioned. Slow down and think. Understand that a pause is going to help you do a few things. And when I say a pause, I don't mean 2 minutes where you sit and just stare creepily at your student or whoever you're having a conversation with. What I mean is a couple seconds, take a deep breath. It can breed confidence in the conversation because your listener understands that you are reflecting and thinking about what you're going to say to them. Number two, it controls the body. I am notorious for my WTF face, right? Because I always say that students have given me two lines right here because when they do something, I go like this. So it helps you control your body language to make sure that you're not coming across a certain kind of way just with your body language, okay? It contributes to the awareness. Look around you. Are there other students around? Who's the audience? Because you need to be super careful, especially with things like FERPA law and all that stuff. You need to be super cautious that you don't have some of these meaningful conversations where a lot of people can hear you, okay? So think about that. The next is it adds energy to your message. By taking that deep breath, you can actually choose the energy that you're going to respond with. I know, crazy, right? But what happens is when we're running around like crazy people, which we normally are, and students just kind of come at us with something, we respond and our energy probably not where it needs to be, right? If we just take 1 second to just take a step back and then respond, the energy aligns correctly, okay? It also signals time for reflection. So this even kind of prompts the student or whoever your listener is to take a step back and be like, okay, let me think about what I just said. Because we've all done it where we just blurt something out and then we're like, well, that's not really what I meant by that. Okay, so it signals that time. It gives you time to kind of gain that inner wisdom. Okay, what are they asking me? How can I respond in a way that's respectful, gives guidance, and motivates them to move forward from whatever the situation is, okay? And finally, it gives you time to choose those words because this is where I'm really bad, right? I struggle naming emotions. I struggle kind of expressing how I'm feeling sometimes. And if I don't pause, and sometimes I even say, just give me 1 minute to kind of organize my feelings, this ADHD brain all over the place, right? All over the place. So really important that I take that second. And I even say it to people and say, I just need a couple seconds to kind of think about how to respond to you so that I make the most sense to you. That is respectful and okay. Okay. So just kind of remember that. Number two, I hope I get all these because the numbers are gone for some of these. Listen with your heart and your head. Every story matters. Okay. So here's the thing is I know we get tired of hearing the same things. Oh, my car broke down. Oh, my dog, stubbed his toe. Oh, my gerbil died. Whatever it is. Okay. We get tired of hearing the stories, but the stories matter. The stories matter. We have to live in a world of gray. Okay. And this is really hard for some teachers. I have worked with amazing teachers that I've had to remind them, don't forget the gray. Don't forget the gray. Do we have rules? Sure. Absolutely. You need to have policies in your school. You need to stick to your policies. But it doesn't if I could speak today, it doesn't mean we don't give thought behind the story and the reason behind what happened, right? So we have to remember to pause and listen and that every story actually matters, okay? Number three is always lean towards the positive. It is really easy to get wrapped up into drama, wrapped up into gossip, wrapped up into ugly, right? We know if you have a bag of apples and one of them molds, they're all going to mold. Okay. It's like a cancer. And that happens really quickly in a school. And while this is not a video geared towards beauty, spa, and wellness individuals, that is most of my audience. Come on, we got a school full of women. Things are going to happen. There's going to be drama. There's going to be gossip. So hugely important that everything you say skews towards the positive, not the negative. Don't get wrapped up into it. And even when a student is coming at you with the doom and gloom and this and that and this and that, try to help them see the silver lining, the positive. Help them understand that there is still opportunity to be better and to grow. Okay. I think this is number 4. Curate a safe space. All right, I know this is like I can't believe this is a controversial topic nowadays, but it is. And how I feel about it is I'm not going to shut up about it. I'm not, because I have an understanding as somebody who is part of the queer community, somebody who has been I'm kind of the black sheep of my family in a lot of different ways. I live my life very differently than they do. I understand the need to be included. And I also understand what it feels like to be kind of an outlier. Okay. So if this offends you, probably don't follow me. Yeah, I don't want to say it that way, but I am never going to be okay with getting rid of DEI. I'm never going to be okay with not welcoming anyone and everyone into my classroom and honoring them for who they are. So curate and create a safe space in your classroom and in your school so that every student feels welcome. And if that's something you need help with, please call me. please call me. I have all sorts of ideas to make sure your classroom is inclusive. So that's your number 5. When it talks about intentionality and speaking, making sure that we're speaking to everybody, not just people like you. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. That's my soapbox. I promise I'm done for that one and I'm moving on. Okay. Number 6, consider other perspectives, which kind of contradicts what I just said about you should probably not follow me if you're not cool with DEI. But the reality is perspectives are when people have a different point of view that makes sense, right? There's a lot of times I walk in with assumptions and I'm like, nope, that's not how it is. And then someone shows me another point of view or another perspective. And I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, I was wrong about that. And being able to say you were wrong is hugely important. I'm wrong all the time, all the freaking time. That's how I learn. That's how I grow. So consider other perspectives and acknowledge if maybe their perspective changes your viewpoint on something, because that's okay. That's how we grow as individuals. And as teachers, you should always be aiming to grow, right? All right. Number 6, develop empathy. Another hot topic, which is crazy. It's a hot topic. But remember, guys, it is important that sometimes we can just sit with students and let them talk instead of saying things like, well, at least this, or at least that, or, kind of brushing them off. It's important that we say things like, you know what? I don't fully understand what you're going through, but I'm here for you. You can talk to me and I'm here to support you. That's what empathy is understanding that we might not have all the answers, but we can still be a solid support system for them. So if you haven't seen the video, I think it's Brené Brown on empathy versus sympathy. Go watch it. It's a great video and it explains it incredibly well. But if you're going to speak with intentionality and you are going to be mindful with how you treat people, empathy is going to be crucial to that. Okay. Number 7, shy away from reactive speech. What does that mean? That means don't be the ticking time bomb that people are afraid to come up to you because they don't know what they're going to get from you, okay? When we respond quickly, especially when something's kind of ugly or maybe a little difficult, we lose the message because we're heated or we're elevated in some sort. I used to get elevated a lot. One of my friends that I worked with for years and years and years, we would leave rooms and she'd look at me and she'd go, why did you elevate? And I'm like, I don't know, because I was angry and I was upset and they were lying and I reacted and it was a big learning curve for me that stop, just stop. Take a step back and stop, because it's not an attack on me. Even when they're saying really ugly things about me, it's not about me. I'm not the issue here. It's whatever their perception is, or they're just looking for someone to blame, or maybe it was me, but I have to recognize that I caused it, right? So shy away from reactive speech, take a second, take a step back and calmly answer. And if you can't, if you're in a position that you cannot respond appropriately, say that to the person. Like, you know what? I'm feeling elevated right now. Can we revisit this topic in an hour or 2 hours when I have a moment to think about how I want to approach this with you? There is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with recognizing that you need a hot minute. Okay. We all need a hot minute sometimes. It's fine. Okay. 3 important questions to ask before you speak. So this is our number 8. Ask these 3 questions before you speak. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? I love it. See, it's a shame it didn't show up on the slide in Canva, but it's important to talk about it anyways. Is it true? That is crazy in today's world because we have to be super cautious about saying things that aren't based in fact. Not fact because you looked it up on the internet. Not fact because someone told you once in an Instagram post, but fact because it's actual fact. Is it kind? As a teacher, that's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be kind at all times, okay? So is it kind? Are you coming across with kindness? And is it necessary to say? Because if it's not necessary to say, then don't say it. So something that's really important to remember is your speaking comes down to your leadership mentality. So I will be speaking at a conference in about 2 weeks or so on leadership mentality and having a leadership culture in your school, even if your title isn't leader. Even if your title is not director, president, boss, any of those things, you should still come with a leadership mentality because as teachers, you are leaders all the time, okay? Remember, your words and actions speak louder than you could ever imagine. Hugely, hugely important to remember that your words and actions matter, that students hear everything you say. So choose your message wisely, choose your words wisely, pause, ponder, and then speak. Okay. So that's what I have for you today. 15 minutes of your life to hopefully inspire you to just level up a tiny bit. Remember, 5% better. If you aim to be 5% better every single day, think about how much greater you will be in 6 months. Okay. So aim for it, work on it. If you want to chat on the side, you know how to reach me. I think all of the socials, go to my website, wherever you want to go, reach out to me. I would love to chat some more about this. Okay. Thanks.